The Oversight Committee released some 30,000 pages of Epstein-related materials from the U.S. Justice Department last night, but critics argue most of that information was already public. Let's go live right now to CNN's chief congressional correspondent, Manu Raju, up on Capitol Hill, and CNN's Kara Scannell. Manu, starting with you. What's the latest you're hearing from key members of Congress about the Epstein case?
Well, there's an escalating clash happened within the House Republican Conference about how to proceed here in the aftermath of the release by the House Oversight Committee of those roughly 33,000 pages from the Justice Department that they had to subpoena to get because of the criticism from folks like Thomas Massie of Kentucky, who said that that is simply public information for the most part and really doesn't reveal much, and that there's much more information he says must be released, which is why he is urging Republicans to side with this effort to circumvent Republican leadership and force a vote on his bill to compel the release of additional files on the Jeffrey Epstein case. This is something that has caused significant pushback from Republican leaders and the White House. Just moments ago, I'm told from sources inside a closed-door meeting that Speaker Mike Johnson urged Republicans not to sign on to that Massie effort, instead urging them to back a separate Republican bill to support the ongoing House probe. That's something that Massie calls political cover. Now, the White House has warned Republicans not to sign with Massie, even a White House official telling reporters last night that this would be viewed as an act of hostility. Asked about that earlier today, Thomas Massie pushed back.
I do find it interesting that the three co-sponsors are women. Maybe they have immunity from the threats from the White House. I do think it's disgusting that the White House has called their co-sponsorship a hostile act now. So you have the White House telling women who are trying to help women that who've been sexually exploited that that's somehow a hostile act.
Now, in order for Massie to succeed here, he will need the support of 6 Republicans to force a vote in the full House with all Democrats. And right now he has 3 Republicans who are backing this effort. Several other ones who have supported calling for more disclosure, more transparency in this Epstein case have so far not signed on to his effort amid this pressure campaign from the White House and Republican leadership, which is raising questions about whether Massie can ultimately get there. But he believes this news conference that's going to happen in a matter of minutes here, Wolf, could change the dynamic when we hear directly from some of these victims for the first time about everything they experienced in the Jeffrey Epstein controversy. So the question is going to be ultimately, Wolf, will that change the dynamic here on Capitol Hill, or will it simply lead to what we're seeing now, this stalemate, this internal battle that's happening within the GOP that the White House hopes will end sometime soon?
All right, Manu Raju up on Capitol Hill. Thank you very, very much, Pamela.
All right, let's bring in Kara Scannell to explain what was actually in these Epstein records from the Justice Department that was released from the Oversight Committee. Kara, what can you tell us?
Pam, our team went through these records last night, and most of the information, if not all of it, was already stuff that is public. You know, that includes flight logs, it includes court records from Ghislaine Maxwell's prosecution. She went on trial, and so much information came out during the trial. But these documents include even trial transcripts, legal briefs, all information that has been in the public docket and has been well reported on for years. It also includes some jail surveillance footage of Jeffrey Epstein. There was also video footage of the Palm Beach police officers searching Jeffrey Epstein's home in Palm Beach. There was depositions, including the audio files from the recent deposition that Ghislaine Maxwell had just given to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. So all of this in the public record, no client list, no new information relating to the investigation, either back in the early 2000s or the more recent ones into Epstein and when he was charged in 2019, and then Maxwell. So a lot of it is already in the public domain. You know, there are efforts, as you said, to try to get more information out there. Survivors who have spoken with our Randy Kay and others have said that they want information to come out. They just want their names to be redacted so their identities are protected. Pam?
All right, Kara Scannell, thank you so much. And to be clear, there is no evidence that is publicly available that Trump did anything wrong or illegal in his interactions with Epstein.